Hey guys, this is my 2007 CRF 450R Honda. It's a race bike. I used to race with this bike. I got it in 2008 in California. I since moved to Colorado, and I swapped it. I changed it to a street legal title. So I'm going to be telling you how to do that. I think it's a pretty easy way of doing it. It's by far the cheapest way, and you won't have to get into your motor for any reason. You don't have to replace the stator or anything like that. There's nothing on this bike that is connected to the motor. The stock motor, nothing that's on there. So first thing is I got a this is a DC system, direct current for the bike. I stuffed the battery right here into the air box under the seat. I bought a battery off of Amazon for, it was like 20 bucks or so. I'll probably add some links and stuff to the description of this video. But yeah, I got a battery. It's a DC battery. It is 12 volt system. On all this other stuff I either got from China. I just ordered it from a website called wish.com. And it's either Wish or you can go to geek.com. And I got everything from that place, that website from China for not too much.
What's up, brother?
What's up, bud? We're making a video right now. Alright.
Have a good day.
Thanks, bud. We'll see.
See you later.
Alright. So, as I was saying, I got this from geek.com or Amazon for fairly cheap. I think these blinkers, they're decent sized blinkers, and they're really bright. There's my headlight. Right there. Pretty bright. Of course, we got front and back. Everything like that, all that good stuff. These blinkers were probably like 10 bucks for all four. The headlight was like 10 bucks. Off Amazon. And the mirror, you got two mirrors right here. You only need one. Those mirrors are like 15 bucks for both of them, I believe. This brake light's like 5 bucks or 8 bucks or something. I made this bracket for this brake light out of a piece of angle iron. Pretty much same thing like this right here. I just bolted it on there. That was a couple bucks. And then this fender eliminator just to hold the license plate. I'm sure you could figure something out for the license plate, but that was like 5 bucks, 10 bucks maybe. The other thing is dot tires that you will need. So I will also include a checklist to everything that you need. Pretty much it says, for Colorado at least, that you need a muffler that's not too loud. That's the stock muffler for this race bike, and it's really loud, and they said that that's fine, so I just left that on there. You need DOT approved tires. I got these ones off of Amazon for, I think it was like 50 a piece. That's really the most expensive thing that you got here on this bike. Are the tires, just to be DOT approved. I believe that sometimes the stock tires on your bikes are even if they're dirt, they still are DOT approved, some of them. So you might want to check on that before you go and buy tires if you don't need to. So that's pretty much. And then I got this brake. This is how I do my brake lights. So right now, the key's on. Blinker, brake light. It's just This little switch right here goes into the cylinder, to the master for the rear brake. You can get it online for your bike. It's probably like 10 bucks, 15 bucks maybe. I got mine at my local motorsports store for about like 10 bucks. And it's really a easy installation. And just connect up your wires. And that's another thing, is the wiring harness for this bike. I made it myself. Here's a couple, my little thing that I got that I made. I have a couple different readouts of blueprints for the wiring harness. But if you don't want to solder up a bunch of wires and stuff like that, if you're not good at stuff like that, you can go ahead and go to Tusk, I believe it's Tusk, and just get their wiring kit for their Dual Sport kit. Just get just the wiring harness for the Dual Sport kit, and that harness will pretty much plug into the battery, plug into all this stuff. It's just a stock harness. I think it's like 20-30 bucks, and you don't have to do any wiring. I'll find that and I'll add the link to that in the description as well. Pretty much, just like I said before, we got the battery in there. All these lights on this bike are LED, so they're not drawing too much power. Now, I can go on probably like two weeks or so of night rides, like every night, every other night, and I won't have to charge the battery. When I do need to charge the battery, I just have my trickle charger right here, and slap it on 12 volt, and I hooked up this little battery charger port, which sticks out through the seat, so I can charge my battery. Just charge it overnight one night and you're good to go for another so many weeks. And really, if you're not riding at night and you're not really using the headlight and you're just cruising during the day, all you're really using is the brake light and blinkers, and that takes very, very little electricity off the battery. So this DC system really works great. I don't have to do anything to the motor. Usually you have to get that STATOR Rewind, all this labor, all this other stuff. You're spending like $1,000 on parts of your bike just so you can power your parts and labor, $1,000 just so you can power your lights when you don't need to. You can just do this system, and I'm sure it'll work for you. A couple other things, I wired in a switch. This is just a regular key switch, on off. I just bought a little alarm for my bike. Not necessary. That was like $5 though off of Amazon. Brake lock right there. That's about it. This other switch I got, that was like $5 off of Amazon. You got your blinkers, high, low beam for the headlight, your horn. The horn was $5 off of Amazon. You just plug it in, plug and play. And of course the flasher relay. That's one of the things that you need to pay attention to, is the flasher relay. I do have the box for it somewhere, so I'll add the part number to the relay. It has to be a low voltage LED flasher relay. I actually messed with a couple of them, and one of them wouldn't work, this other one worked. So I'll give you the part number for that, and that's pretty much it. I mean, at the sheriff's office, when you need to take this bike in to get the street title, they check your horn, to make sure your horn's loud enough. Now this horn is pretty loud right here. Kind of sounds a little bitchy, but it's whatever. Of course we got blinkers. You don't need blinkers. In Colorado, you just use your hands and you're good to go. I wanted to be all legit, so I just wired up blinkers. If you buy that wiring harness, it will come with wiring, in the harness for your blinkers and your whole setup. They, like I said, just the light. Want to make sure your light's bright enough. you know, I got messed with a little bit. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't mess with this light. I had a tiny light on this before when I got it registered right here. This is like a bicycle light. Now, one of the guys came out and he was doing my test, and he was like, the sheriff, he said, you know, that light, oh, that light's not bright enough, this and that. We were, you know, testing it during the day, so you couldn't really see how bright it was. Anyways, and this younger guy came out, and he said, oh, no, that light's good. You know, that light's good to go. It's really bright. You know, those LEDs are really bright, so he hooked it up. And, you know, he knew about these LEDs and how bright they really are. But pretty much that's it. I mean, I got another sprocket, smaller sprocket, so I can go faster so I can do some wheelies up in the freeway and stuff. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I think, you know, if you do have to buy tires, it's gonna be like 150, maybe 160 bucks with all the stuff you need to be street legal. If you don't need tires, it's gonna be like 60 bucks, 70 bucks or something. You know, and that's just for the basic stuff. You know, all this other stuff, hand guards, extra mirror, you know, GPS garbage, the speedometer, all that stuff I got for cheap, but it's not necessary. And like I said, you can buy this light, you can buy this light, and you should be good too. But you know, this one will go right into your wiring harness, and you can use your switch. This one is just separate, and it has its own battery, you know, or yeah, it has its own battery for that system. But that's pretty much it. And leave a comment, ask some questions if you'd like. Thank you very much. Hey guys, one more thing for that bike. When I did get it registered, or legalized, I didn't even use that whole kit. I used this kit. This is like a plug and play kit from Amazon for like $7, $5, $7, and it's actually for a bicycle. So you got your brake light and your blinkers. Pretty much this is the brake light switch. You just, you know, figure it out to hook up to your front handlebar, and you know, that's what I did. And or you know, not your front handlebar, but your front brake on your handle, and it'll activate the brakes. And this one has, you know, this is your hand controls for your handlebars. You have the left and right blinkers, which you don't really need in Colorado, but there they are on the bike. You have a horn right here, and it's pretty loud, and pretty much this is just like a little light. It's supposed to be for the front. It's just like a secondary brake light kind of. You really don't use it. So with this kit, $7 plus that other smaller light that I used that was on the mini bike earlier in the video, you're good to go.